What's going on, everybody? This Afro think tank. White men are getting tired. They're getting tired of white supremacy. Good, decent, humanistic white people, white men in particular, who we need, are finally tired of being associated with white supremacy. You see, this is European American excellence versus American white supremacy and neo-fascism. This is white excellence. There's such thing as white excellence. There's a thing that's called European excellence. It's real. You guys should separate the two. You can be proud to be European and proud of the accomplishments of certain members of your community. And you can also fight against those members of your community that make you guys look bad, that make the world a worse place, right? So I would like to highlight, because we always banging on those Europeans, especially those European Americans, right? But it's important to make sure that those European American allies, those Americans, those European Americans who display white excellence or European excellence, defined and distinct and different from white supremacy, white superiority, and neo-fascism. Okay, there's a difference, and we have to start separating it. So without further ado, let's listen to some of these allies, some of these excellent white folk, these Europeans who display European American excellence or European excellence when it comes to fighting against white supremacy, fighting against the worst members of their own community, holding their own people accountable. Anyway, without further ado, it's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
I'm Vic Myers. Welcome to the Resistance. I've been trying for a while now to figure out how to talk about something that's been on my mind, and recent events, I think, finally pushed it up. What I want to say is that racism is a white people problem. A white people problem that others are forced to live with. As a white man, I've never had to be afraid of being pulled over by the cops. As a white father, I've never had to have that special talk with my kids about not looking wrong or saying the wrong thing to a cop for fear that they wouldn't come home again. I've never had to worry about being turned down for a mortgage because of the color of my skin or where to go jogging. Never had to worry that I could be scooped up by ICE just for looking like I might belong to the wrong group, even though I was born here. I've never committed the misdemeanor crime of selling cigarettes. But if I did, it wouldn't be a capital offense. These are things that people of color have to deal with every stinking day. These are things that white people allow, that white people cause. I think I'm finally ready to talk about it now because of the state that our country's in, the permission that Donald Trump has given for racist behavior, and the hope I recently felt when I saw the latest poll numbers. For reasons that never made sense to me, Donald Trump has gained support in nearly every demographic when he won his last election, including non-white communities. But now, recent polling suggests that just about everybody is finally seeing him for what he is. They're seeing his racism, and the racism emanating from this administration like stink from a skunk. And they're saying it's not okay. He's lost everything that he gained, and then some, among all these groups. Well, every group except one. That one group is white, non-college educated men, the last stronghold of Trump's race-based politics. Polling indicates that a majority of this group is still standing solidly behind Trump and his policies. Unfortunately for them, they're not going to be any better off under Trump's policies than anybody else. Maybe one day they'll realize that their racism isn't worth what they're losing. And maybe the rest of us will realize something too, that racism is a white people problem, and it's up to white people to solve it. It's up to white people to call it out among their coworkers, their friends, and their family. It's up to white people to be the loudest and proclaim that racism is no longer acceptable in American institutions. It's up to white people to make sure that we're not voting for the racists. Thanks for listening. Good day.
I don't want to see one more white creator clutch their pearls or tell me how they're horrified or how they want to leave the country and how you're having a mental breakdown and how it's too much to handle about what's happening in this country. I don't want to hear a goddamn thing about it. I truly don't. You got a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of an inch what it's like to be black in this country. Feels pretty shitty, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Do you know why we're here? It's because our demographic, primarily white men who this land was designed to benefit, didn't stand up with people of color, with our black brothers and sisters, with the Native Americans, with minorities, because it didn't affect them. That's why we're here. There is the class war, eat the rich, yes. This is about the original sin of this country. Make America white again, because that's what they want. Last night I was on a live, and this lady was just heartbroken. She's like, I don't know, like we had, 75 years of progress, and it's all being taken away. And I asked a question, and I think it's the right question. Was it progress, or was it just suppressed? I would argue the latter, because it sure feels like this racism is like a reservoir, and it's a body of water behind a dam, and it's been dying to push out. And that's what this Klan leader is in the White House. He is that outlet for the dam. He unleashed it. It was there. Our neighbors, our friends, our family, they were always racist. He just said, hey, little Billy, hey, it's okay. Don't hide anymore. Take off your white hoods. Don't hide your face. Do it in public. Who were they going after? They're racially profiling people. DEI, CRT, equality, Charlie Kirk, the white supremacist. Hey, if the pilot's black, do I know that they're qualified? Has he ever said that about a white pilot? Of course not. Who did they pick? The most unqualified, bumbling idiot. A convicted felon, caused an insurrection, cheats on his wives, sexual abuse. But hey, you know what? He's white. So when you see a lot of these evangelicals, because I see a lot of them in my family, middle-aged white, praise Jesus, praise Jesus. Yeah, you think Jesus wants a man like this? You think he's a great reflection? No. I'm going to tell you why they support him. Because they view, when you hear the phrase nuclear family or traditional family values or Christian nation, when was this a Christian nation again? I'm sorry, because I haven't heard one thing. It was founded by founding fathers that owned slaves. They owned goddamn black people like cattle. Yeah, praise Jesus, right? Black people were worth 3/5 of a person. Praise Jesus. Only 21-year-old white men had rights in this country. Praise Jesus. Such a Christian nation. Every atrocity in this country and across the world has been done by a person with religion who has weaponized religion to push the white supremacy. That's it. Look at the Catholic Church. How many young men have been affected? And none of you Catholics stood up. You still go to church and give your tithes while they pay out billions of dollars in civil lawsuits because it didn't affect you, so you don't give a damn. Look at the Baptist Church. Decades they covered up the mistreatment of women. It's gross. And you still went to church and praise Jesus. Look at all the pastors right now that are being arrested for doing inappropriate things with people underage. Praise Jesus, right? But then you hear Bishop Uday. Kindness, compassion, empathy. Nope, we don't want that. That's right, because you want to make America white again. You want Leave It to Beaver. You want a white kid in a white ice cream shop sitting next to a white cop being served by a white ice cream server. That's what you want. And for all of you middle-aged white people, you are scared to hell that that's going away. And when you hear Fox News, they have posted 244 pieces about trans people since February. Nothing about gun violence. Nothing about universal health care. Nothing about giving people a living wage. Actual policies that would make people's lives better. Because it questions their version of the traditional family. And when you hear that, let me be very clear what traditional family values means. It means white America. That's what it means. They want to put the 10 Commandments in Texas. They want to put Bibles in Tennessee. I'm a person of faith, and I have no right, zero, to push my religion or my faith on you. That's what free will is. See, and those white Christian nationalists, those white supremacists, they don't want free will. They want to push their religious ideology on you because they actually believe this is a Christian nation, because they don't want to take 2 seconds to realize that we are a third world country, that we've never been a great nation for everybody. And that's done through indoctrination, right? You're born in American flag diapers, and you wake up every morning and you eat your freedom Wheaties and you do the Pledge of Allegiance, best country in the whole universe ever by not even a close measure. Then you feed your pet bald eagle and you go to work and you polish the Constitution and you have 800 trillion American flags. America, America, yeehaw, America first. But see, you don't give a damn about the people that the flag represents. You just care that your version of what America was lied to you, that you were the Truman Show, because that's what this is. You were told it was great, and it's not. Right now, the way that we're acting, we're a shithole country. And a lot of people that are white don't want to hear that. Why don't you go ask black people if they think it was great? Why don't you go ask some Native Americans if it was great for them? Because this was their land. Why don't you go ask the Hawaiians when it was great for them? Because we stole their land. We took the land from Mexico. Hell, we took black people from Africa because us white people were too goddamn lazy to do the jobs ourselves. And for all of you people demonizing immigrants, I don't see your lazy asses out in the field doing the jobs. Why is that? Because you just didn't want non-white people here. But Paul, I want them here legally. Great, let's talk about that. These people have been here for 30, 40 years. The system is screwed up, yes. But you know what? They're not criminals. They pay their bills. They pay their taxes. They have a house. They own businesses. But you voted for a white man who's a convicted felon, who caused an insurrection, who makes fun of disabled people, who's so pitiful that he cheats on his wives, all 3 of them. 25 women he's assaulted. The guy wears orange makeup and diapers. And that's your guy? Because he represents one thing: make America white again. And for a lot of you men, it's the toxic masculinity, right? You just can't admit that you've been lied to your whole life, that America has never been great for everybody. Sure, take out the bad parts. Take out Jim Crow and slavery and the unaliving of Native Americans and segregation and Black Wall Street. Sure, just take out the bad parts and just take the fraction where it's benefited white people. If we don't address this, and if people like me don't speak up like this, whether we like it or not, this is our mess. We created this. Think of it this way, and I'll leave you with this thought. I build a house, okay? This house is brand new. A black family moves into it, okay? Great, it's wonderful. It starts to get cracks in the walls and the ceilings, and it sags. They come in, they look at it, and they find out that the foundation is broken, okay? That it wasn't poured correctly. It wasn't meant to hold the weight of that house. It was designed poorly. Is it up to the homeowner to fix that house? No. It's up to the person that built the house. Us, white men, the only demographic that has never been oppressed, the demographic that it was designed to support. Whether I like it or not, I have privilege. I don't want it, but I have it. So we have 2 options, people. We can hide behind it and clutch our pearls and bitch and whine and say, oh my gosh, it's so bad. Or we can use it to stand up and do the right thing and to tear down the patriarchy. Because white supremacy, right now, the one good thing that came out of Harris losing was that now we're forced to address the ugliness and the darkness in this country, which is white supremacy. Which path are you going to choose? How is history going to remember you?
White people, stop your whining. You aren't oppressed. But the nation is realigning. Some things need to be addressed. Your share of the population is declining. Left is 20 years at best. For the past you keep on pining. Good old days with which you're obsessed. Soon enough will be a redefining. Past you, the nation will have progressed.
It doesn't matter. I'm tired of watching.
Stop crying for the bad guy. What is wrong with you guys? This, like, the liberal tears, this is why people don't take liberals seriously. White people.
You know, it's funny to me that white people don't know the difference between oppression and inconvenience. You not wearing a mask is not because you're oppressed, it's because you're inconvenienced. You don't like it. Nobody likes it. But we're trying to save our society. We are trying to get out of this global pandemic. We are trying to be considerate of the other people who could get COVID and die. Because in case you hadn't seen the numbers, lots and lots of people have died. Even people who say it was a hoax have died. So instead of feeling sad and inconvenienced, or oppressed, get your shit together, put on a mask, shut the fuck up, get a vaccine maybe. Get it together. I'm sorry you couldn't go to the Luke Bryan concert because you weren't vaccinated. Who the fuck cares? Get it together. And stop whining.
I've been seeing these videos on what it's like to be a white man in America. And this is a topic I can very much talk about. I see a lot of people talking about how hard it is. We live life on easy mode. When was the last time you were stopped in a neighborhood or going into your apartment building and asking if you belong there? When have you ever gone to a pool and somebody said, well, do you have a key to get in? How did you get in here? We have never experienced what it's like to be a minority because we are the majority. And it's crazy to hear people talking about how they grew up poor and they're wondering where their white privilege is. It seems that the understanding of where privilege comes from is the problem. When you go to a job interview as a white person, you are more likely to get that job. Let's say maybe you made some mistakes when you were a kid and you got arrested. You are less likely to be prosecuted because we might be seen as someone with a bright future while others are seen as thugs and criminals even if they've done nothing wrong. And the argument of there's a BET, what if there was a WET? Have you ever watched Fox? The thing is, I used to think this. Why can't you talk about you're proud to be white? You literally can. But because you understand how close white pride is to white power, you realize it's wrong. There's people that are proud to be Mexican. There's people that are proud to be black. There's people that are proud to be a lot of things. There's people that are proud to be Italian or Irish, and no one has a problem with those things. But white pride comes from a heavy burden of what we've done to others. And me personally, I am not proud of that. But I will be proud to fight against the people that put these systems in place and use my privilege for good.
Look, I'm a white man. I want to get my perspective on racism. I've been getting so much of it in the comments lately from white people. You know, white people tend to speak differently when it's only white people in the room. My whole life, even since I was young, when I heard that shit, it was disgusting to me. I would hear it and be like, why do y'all speak like that? Why would y'all think it's such a... Where's this hatred coming from? When I see racist white people and I hear things they have to say, I'm ashamed to be the same race as y'all. I just feel kind of disgusted sometimes when I hear it. I'm like, what? Because I can never relate to you. It's the way white people feel like they're so right when they say these things. Like they really, really believe these things from the core. That's what bothers me the most. I created this TikTok to do entertainment. And during me doing the entertainment, I've been getting so much hate because I am in a interracial relationship. So now I decided to use my platform to stand for something. Stand to get something. Y'all white people have no reason to feel supreme. No reason to feel better than you. No reason to look down on people. We are all the same. We all bleed the same blood. We're all born from the same way. I'm standing against y'all. It's time for change, and I'm gonna do my part.
Hello and welcome back to Quick Talk, Quick Thought. Hat got in the way. So, what I have noticed a lot in my comments, it's rather hilarious. It's called The Whining White Man. Okay, and I got a lot of those in my comments. I mean, you may as well include the whining white woman as well, include her into this conversation. So the whining white man / white woman suffers from reproductive insecurity and fear of competition. He or she spends endless hours crying about feminism, Jews, multiculturalism, and immigration. Anyone who's not a white male or a white woman making progress is seen as a threat, and he or she will resort to psychotic verbal attacks to justify his or her racial hatred victim narrative. You guys love crying on my shit. I love it too because, I mean, it just shows how much of the whininess that you guys claim that everybody else besides you guys have. And we're talking MAGA people who support Trump, people who support anything that this man is doing. You guys have severe, severe whining white man, whining white woman syndrome, especially whenever things are brought to light, facts are brought to you. You try to sit there and say it's not true. You would rather have it whitewashed from that Prego University or whatever, Prego University. And please, you guys are the biggest whiners I've ever came across.
As a white man, I feel it is extremely important to say this, and I really hope other white people step the fuck up and echo my sentiment. I don't want to live in a white nation. I don't want to live in a white America. I don't want to live in a Christian America. I don't have a problem with Christians. I'm white. I don't have a problem with white people. But every time that some leader is spouting off to a base about Christian nationalism and our ancestors, it's always to some Aryan-looking motherfuckers. I don't want to live in that country. Every time it's white people, they want to play civilized while they hang people at night. They want to play civilized while they segregate themselves and pretend they're better than everybody else, just simply because, oh, look at my skin, look at my eyes. I don't want to live in that country at all. And I'm tired of seeing people just quietly sit behind while this rhetoric is being brought back from the 60s and 70s and before that, and it's making its way back into 2025. I don't want to live in that America. I don't support that America. I actively advocate against that. Every man, every woman, every child, black, white, yellow, green, purple, should be welcome in this country. Every religion should be welcomed in this country. The freedom to practice all religion is what we hold here. We are not a Christian nation. We are a nation in which you are free to practice Christianity, in which you are free to be an atheist, in which you are free to be a Muslim, in which you're free to be a Jew. It does not matter. This is not a Christian nation. And the more y'all talk about a Christian nation, I only see white ideals. You want a white idealistic nation. You don't want a Christian nation. You want to call a Christian nation a white nation. Period. And most of the people that, oh, it's not about color, are the same people that see a black person that sounds a different way than they expect them to. And they're like, oh, you're one of the good ones. That's who we're dealing with.
Okay, I'll say it. As a white boy, how the fuck do you have black fatigue when you don't know any? And you're afraid of them? And you refuse to interact with them or support them or be on their side in any case, and you're always playing the devil's advocate and try to substantiate all the abuse and violence that happens against people that don't look like you. See, here's the problem with most of you, is most of you have gotten away with saying whatever the fuck you want to say, and nobody's ever challenged and said, hey, listen. Hey, listen. You can't be tired from something that you haven't been exposed to. Your lack of experience is why you didn't get the job. Your lack of expertise is why you didn't get the job. It's not the woman or the person of color or the immigrant. You got given up on, and you gave up on yourself. And the way you excuse your lack of achievement is by denigrating other people. And the most simple-minded of you will be racist. So understand, those of you complaining of black fatigue, again, are among the least of us, the dumbest of us. Racism is stupid. Black fatigue is made the fuck up. As is woke as a derogatory term. You just stole it from black people. Again, that's cultural appropriation. What the fuck is wrong with you? Wake the fuck up. Again, I'll say it. I guess you can have black fatigue if you've just been running from a relationship with a black person your entire fucking life, because God forbid you realize that, like, we're all cousins. And the more that you look alike, the closer you are genetically, the more likely you are cousins. So, like, if you have blonde hair and blue eyes and you're a man, and you marry a woman that has blonde hair and blue eyes, and you both have a cleft chin, guess what? You're so close genetically, you might as well be cousins. So you just happen to be. You just happen to be. Tired of something you've never ran from. Or tired of something you've been running from your whole life, which is a relationship with someone that you aren't directly responsible for. That's what your problem is. The problem is you don't bring value. You don't have black fatigue. You're afraid of people that don't look like you. Say that. Say that instead.
Well, today's a brand new day, and I'm going to use my cis straight white male privilege to not be racist and effectively end racism. So let me just log online and, see what's happening. Well, tomorrow's a brand new white day.
White people, if we want racism to truly go away in America, our voices have to be some of the loudest in condemning it. If you've been paying attention at all, you know and you understand the aggressive attempt that is happening right now to whitewash our world. We've had many people with black or brown skin color removed from prominent positions within the government. We've even had their achievements removed from government websites. There's a blatant attempt to rewrite history when it comes to slavery, with some going as far as to say it wasn't that bad, or we should teach it more gently. And that's just the very tip of the iceberg. White people, do you want to live in a world that is completely void of color? Do any of you guys not hang out with people of different skin color than you? Where are your voices on their behalf? Why are things like this happening over and over again to them, and we are not screaming in enragement? And most importantly, why are we expecting them to do anything whatsoever to combat this? They didn't create this problem. People who look like us did, and people who look like us continue to perpetuate the problem. So then it's people who look like us whose voices have to be the loudest in condemning their behaviors. No, it's not okay to come after our friends who aren't white. No, it's not okay to minimize them. No, it's not okay to hurt or harm them. We are the ones with the privilege, and nothing is going to change unless we use our voices on their behalf. Nobody is better than anybody else because of the color of their skin. But our government is trying to send the opposite message. The only way to stop that is for our voices to be louder, for us to shame people for having such backwards and racist thinking, to call people out when they say the quiet parts out loud. If you're white, I don't know what you're waiting for. The time is now. I've never organized any kind of march or protest before, but it would be my absolute dream, while our black and brown brothers and sisters are at home resting, for all of us white people to be out marching on their behalf, standing in solidarity and support of their communities. I will say this on record, if anybody is in the midst of organizing something like this, please contact me. I will lend my voice however I possibly can to your cause. Right now we have a bunch of white people that are united in their common goals of supremacy. We have to have a bunch of white people that are on the opposite side as a counter resistance to their efforts. If racism is going to stop, we have to be the ones to stop it.
I'm just going to say it, right? If more people, more white people would stand up against racism, we could probably get it to damn near end, y'all. I'll stand up for it. I know racism isn't right, but I need more white people to jump on this train to help me take a stand against racism. There are white people out here, y'all, that's got people thinking that we are all racist, when that is not what's going on. So we have got to put a message out to take a stand against racism. Like, I will start it off. I don't care. I will stand alone in it if I have to. But if you're a white person and you're with me on this, help me push the content out. There's only one way to do this, and it comes with just being in unison. That's the only way. There is power in numbers, y'all. I don't care if you're black, Mexican, Indian, Asian, whatever it is that your race, ethnicity is. You don't have to be white for me to like you. And everybody else that feels this way, I need you to get on this train right now.
We talk about how ironic it is that the right demonizes people of color when the only time I feared for my life has been around a white man. I get so many hate comments like these few here Most of the time I just write it off as immature, angry men, but the times that I've genuinely been scared that violence was going to be inflicted upon me have been white men. Not to mention that a lot of domestic violence, as well as many mass shootings, are committed by white men. There are going to be people in any demographic that commit crimes, but the fact that the right focuses so intensely on the single crime that a person of color commits is so dishonest. Some of the craziest things that have happened to me since I started posting is that I've gotten my account banned because white supremacists mass reported me for being underage, which I'm clearly not. They found my phone number and leaked it, so I had to change my phone number. They tried to get me fired by contacting any school in Chicago to see if I worked there. There was even an online page to see who was calling which school. I've literally been called a race traitor and told that I will be lynched along with POC. So no, people of color aren't the problem here. It is white men, and that's why I make the content I do. They prove it to me more and more every single day why it's necessary.
There is a very interesting shift taking place as Trump rapidly ramps up his authoritarianism, and that is white people flipping the switch from capitulation to resistance. Let me explain what I mean. Since the end of World War II, the white community in America has enjoyed unprecedented wealth and opportunity as a result of a globalized American empire. And because of that, we have been less likely to buck against the system even when we know that system is unjust, because the system has rewarded us so well. That's called capitulation. And these are broad brushstrokes here. I'm speaking very generally. The black community, on the other hand, because they have always been a target of the system, from slavery to Jim Crow to the war on drugs, they have always maintained a posture of resistance. And again, there are plenty of exceptions on both sides here. But what's interesting to see now is more and more white people, first of all, waking up, and secondly, taking risks to resist the Trump regime, taking to the streets in protest, directly confronting ICE officers, resigning positions of authority, and in our case, making a documentary that could cause us to get our tails sewed off or worse. But it's worth it, these acts of resistance. Jesus said it like this: what does it profit a man to gain the whole world yet lose his soul? Because we cannot be people any longer who go along with wicked systems just because they benefit us.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.